The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, don't mind the hoodie and the Scully. Got the old throwback. Representing the best baseball team on planet Earth, Miami Marlins, but this is the throwback, the Florida Marlins. Anyway, it's cold as an igloo in this room, so I gotta bundle up at night. But listen, this is another installment of our prospect review series, and I love doing these because I love talking about the upcoming fighters and seeing how these age and things like that, and seeing what people think about these fighters if they know of them, and just putting them on game to these fighters that right now may not be on the tip of their tongues, but in the future will be talked about and will be on the tip of their tongues. And today's fighter, in today's prospect review video, we will be talking about Mexico's very own Lindolfo Delgado. Yes, that Lindolfo Delgado. The Mexican knockout machine, Lindolfo Delgado. At the time of me shooting this video, he's 13-0 with 12 knockouts. I've heard a lot of great things about him over the last couple of years, but this last card when he fought on the Oscar Valdez versus Robinson Conceicao undercard, this was my first true real look at Lindolfo Delgado, and I gotta say, man, I got to say this about Lindolfo Delgado. I love what I saw from him. He throws those grown man punches. He was a pretty accomplished amateur. You don't really hear about a lot of guys that are Mexican Olympians, but that's what he was. He did represent Mexico in the 2016 Olympics, so that's already right there. I think that's good for his career, because there really aren't too many Mexican Olympians. The infrastructure and structure of boxing is a bit different, so you don't really hear about too many Mexicans fighting for Mexico in the Olympics. So you got that. Very experienced fighter. He sparred with, like I mentioned, Robinson Conceicao. He fought Robinson Conceicao in the amateurs and lost to him, and he also spars with him regularly. He sparred with he had that one sparring session I saw on LA Setback's channel with UFC legend Jose Aldo. So the guy's getting some good experience. He fought Carlos Balderas in the amateurs and actually beat Carlos Balderas in the amateurs. And I know right now, to most people who know who Carlos Balderas is, that might not seem like a big deal, because Carlos Balderas has lost, and he's in the midst of rebuilding his own career. But to beat Carlos Balderas in the amateurs was a massive achievement and a massive deal. So to beat him, it shows that Lindolfo Delgado is of a certain caliber and a certain quality. But I would say this about him: the 140-pound division's in a transitional period, because you got Josh Taylor, who's the undisputed champion, but I don't think he'll be in the weight class much longer. So it's when you talk about 140 and we talk about the landscape of the 140-pound division, we have to start looking forward to the future and start looking for the fighters that we think could rule over this weight class, and maybe even go the Josh Taylor route and the Terrence Carver route and become undisputed themselves. And if you're looking for fighters that fit that bill, that fit that description, that fit that description, that you could look at, a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years from now, not just being world champions, but being the guy in this weight class, I think you don't gotta look no further than Lindolfo Delgado. Lindolfo Delgado is incredibly strong. That much is apparent when you watch him punch. When his punches land, they have an impact on his opponents. He so far, I know he hasn't fought anybody great in his career, but he's shown great killer instincts and the ability to finish off his opponents, which is always a good sign early in a fighter's professional career. And he's got good fundamentals. He works behind that jab. He really goes down to that body with some conviction and some meanness and some oomph behind those punches. And I just think Lindolfo Delgado, I've only seen him fight that one time. I haven't really done any extensive film study or watching of his fight. I went and I watched some highlights, some other fights that I hadn't seen before, but I saw what I needed to see to know that Lindolfo Delgado is going to be a serious factor at 140. I know for a fact that, barring any sort of unforeseen setbacks outside the ring that fighters tend to have sometimes, as long as he's focused, as long as he's training hard, and as long as he's doing his thing, I don't see why he can't be world champion. I do a lot of these prospect reviews, and I'm very hesitant to give fighters that label of future world champion, but he's one of the guys that I would have zero problems, zero ifs, ands, or buts about giving that label to, because in the professional ranks, it's all about hurting and not getting hurt. They say it's hit and not get hit, but I think in professional boxing, it's really about hurt and not get hurt. And Lindolfo Delgado You know, I just feel like with the way he fights, with the way his presence in the ring, with the way he's able to get fighters to go on the back foot and impose himself on people, I really think he's got, you know, world champion written all over him, and I think he's world championship material. His amateur exploits tell me that. His style shows me that. The work he gets in the gym shows me that, and I have no reason to believe that Lindolfo Delgado won't be a world champion. So, you know, that's really my review on him. I love the way he goes to the body. I love the way he closes the gap. I love the way that he forces his opponents to fight on the back foot. And I'll tell you this, if Lindolfo Delgado loses or whenever he loses in his career, he's not going to lose to somebody who if you can't, in my opinion, to beat a guy like him, you're going to need to be a fighter that has punching power, that is an aggressive counterpuncher, that can also fight on the back foot. And right now, you know, he's not gonna fight that until he gets to the levels of like a contender. But right now, I'm enjoying his career for what it is. A very talented prospect on the come up, a guy with a whole lot of punchy power, skills, and confidence to boot. So yeah, man, that's my review on Lindolfo Delgado. 13-0, 12 KOs. The Mexican Olympian. You know, Bob Arum spoke glowingly of him. He's even went as far as to say that Lindolfo Delgado is the next great Mexican world champion. So that's no small praise, and he's got a lot to live up to in the professional ranks. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, Lindolfo Delgado. Let me know what you guys think about him. Let me know who else, what other prospects you guys want to see me talk about. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dang. So until next time, take care, guys.